If you want to dominate in a noisy world, learn the art of saying nothing. Yes, you heard me right. Say less, do more, and watch the world bend in your direction. Because power does not scream, it whispers. Influence does not shout, it acts. The men and women who move mountains are not the loudest in the room. They are the most disciplined. Silence is not weakness. It is supreme strength under control. It is the invisible armor worn by the most powerful men and women of every generation. The loudest voice in the room is not the one with the most power. It's the quietest one. The one who says little, but when they act, mountains move. If you are to master your destiny, you must first master your tongue, because restraint is not passivity. It is calculated power, waiting for the right moment to strike. You see, weak people talk. They explain. They defend. They broadcast their every move because they're insecure. They seek validation. But the truly powerful individual, the one destined to rise above the noise, says nothing. They don't explain the plan. They become the plan. They build in silence. They sacrifice in silence. And when the world sees them again, they've become unrecognizable, stronger, sharper, unstoppable. The man who learns to control his words learns to control his world. Most people are addicted to attention. They announce their goals. They shout their dreams, hoping someone will clap for them. But applause doesn't build empires. Discipline does. Attention won't move the needle. Action will. And when you act from a place of stillness, from a place of calm and absolute certainty, you become untouchable. Your silence becomes your advantage. There is a force that comes from restraint, a fire that burns without being seen. When you stop talking, you start listening. You hear what others miss. You feel what others ignore. You become aware of your environment in a way that talkers never will. And in that awareness lies control. The one who observes, the one who waits, the one who strikes only when necessary, that is the one who wins. But it takes courage, tremendous courage, because silence isn't easy. It's uncomfortable to say nothing when you're burning to be heard. It takes strength to keep moving forward without cheering crowds, without recognition, without applause. But that's exactly why silence separates the average from the great. Most can't take it. They break under pressure of being overlooked. But if you can embrace the silence, if you can learn to love the grind without validation, you become a storm no one saw coming. Every word you speak is energy spent. Every explanation you give is attention diverted. If you want to build something legendary, you cannot afford to waste your power on words. You must store it, channel it, weaponize it through action. Let others post about what they're going to do. Let others talk big and live small. You don't need to say anything quietly, ferociously, unstoppably, because when you rise, and you will, it will be undeniable. They won't remember what you said. They'll remember what you did. They'll feel the weight of your silence when your results speak volumes. And that, my friend, is the ultimate form of power. Discipline is the bridge between thought and power. It is the razor's edge that separates the wishful from the victorious. You can dream all you want. You can talk about ambition, scribble down plans, speak of empires, but without discipline, all of it dissolves into thin air. It is discipline, not talent, not connections, not chatter, that carves mountains out of your potential. And in a world drowning in noise, discipline is your weapon of distinction. The weak will always reach for distraction. They will stroll, talk, gossip, and drift, Because facing the silence of focused work demands character. It demands sacrifice. But discipline is not born out of comfort. It is forged in fire in those moments when you choose effort over ease, action over excuse, consistency over chaos. If you want to build something that lasts, something that matters, you must become married to discipline. You must become obsessed with it, loyal to it even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. It is easy to move when eyes are on you. It is easy to speak of commitment when the spotlight shines. But true power lives in the shadows, in the early mornings, the late nights, the lonely hours when no one claps, no one calls, and no one notices. That's when the real work is done. That's where champions are made. And it takes discipline to stay in that space and grind while the world sleeps. Discipline means you don't need to tell anyone what you're doing. You just do it, day in, day out. While others are distracted by noise, you are locked in on the mission. While they explain their goals, you execute yours. While they chase applause, you chase mastery. You build brick by brick until the structure of your success stands so tall, so undeniable, the world can't help but notice. That is the power of quiet, unshakable discipline. You must learn to say no. Say no to laziness, no to temporary pleasure, no to every distraction disguised as entertainment. Because each time you say no to what doesn't serve your purpose, you say yes to greatness. And greatness isn't loud. It doesn't scream or beg for attention. It is steady. It is consistent. It shows up when it says it will. And that, my friend, is the essence of discipline. Don't waste your time explaining your schedule. Don't justify your grind. Don't share your blueprints with those who aren't building anything themselves. Cut the noise. Lock in focus. The talkers are always looking for the next motivation. The doers are too busy creating momentum. Which one are you? The one who waits for the right mood or the one who shows up regardless? The one who hopes or the one who executes? Your future will not be built on how much you say. It will be built on how much you do. And what you do consistently with iron discipline will echo far louder than any words ever could. Adversity is not your enemy. It is your invitation to rise. It is the test that separates the pretenders from the producers. Every setback you face, every ounce of doubt thrown at you, every time someone says you can't, that is fuel. That is raw energy waiting to be converted into momentum. The question is not whether adversity will come. It will. The question is, what will you do with it? Most people crumble under pressure. They take failure personally. They believe the lie that obstacles mean it's time to quit. But the truth is simple. Adversity is a signal that you're on the right path. No one throws stones at a dead tree. Resistance only comes when you're moving, when you're growing, when you're daring to do something extraordinary. If there are no challenges in your path, it's because you're not doing anything worth challenging. But here's what the uncommon few understand. Adversity is the sharpening stone. It hardens your resolve. It exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. It teaches you lessons that comfort never could. When others break, you build. When others retreat, you advance. You don't curse the difficulty, you embrace it, because you know every struggle is a stepping stone to mastery. The voices telling you you're not good enough, let them speak. Let them doubt you. Let them laugh, because their disbelief is your advantage. While they mock, you work. While they sleep, you grind. And when the results come, they will wonder how you did it, never realizing they were the fuel that lit your fire. You didn't break. You didn't bow. You used the weight they tried to bury you with and built your foundation. Resilience is not a trait you're born with. It is a skill you build. You build it every time you get knocked down and choose to rise again. Every time you hear no and keep moving anyway. Every time life hits you with the unexpected and you refuse to flinch, that's when you're forged. That's when your spirit becomes indestructible. Adversity sharpens your focus. When life presses hard, distractions fall away. You stop caring what others think. You stop needing approval. All that remains is the fire of the mission, the unshakable drive to finish what you started. And when you move from that place, you become dangerous. Not because you're loud, not because you're flashy, but because you cannot be stopped. Your story will not be remembered because everything went right. It will be remembered because you kept moving when everything went wrong. That is what inspires. That is what leaves a mark. That is what builds legacies. You do not become strong by avoiding the storm. You become strong by walking through it, head held high, eyes forward, heart on fire. So when adversity knocks, don't step back, step forward. Lean into it. Let it make you better. Let it make you faster, stronger, sharper, because the pain you feel now is the price for the power you will hold tomorrow. Greatness is not built in the spotlight. It is built in silence. It is built in the dark, away from applause, away from recognition, away from the cameras and the claps. It is built in the lonely hours when no one is watching and no one cares. That is where resilience is born. That is where champions are forged. Not on the stage, but behind the scenes. When it's just you, your vision, and your discipline, the world celebrates results, but it ignores the process. People admire the finished product, but rarely understand the price paid to get there. They see the glory and miss the grind. But you must never forget that the grind is where the power is. The real work is done in silence. The transformation happens in obscurity. And if you want to become unstoppable, you must learn to love that silence. You must embrace the unseen struggle, the repetition, the setbacks, the late nights, the early mornings, the sweat, the tears, the solitude. In the dark, there are no shortcuts. There is no applause to motivate you, no validation to feed your ego. Only the raw truth. Either you show up or you don't. Either you do the work or you fall behind. It is in that crucible that your character is tested. And the ones who push through, without the spotlight, without the cheerleaders, without anyone saying, "Well done," those are the ones who rise when the time comes. Success is not an accident. It is not magic. It is the byproduct of relentless effort repeated day after day with no one clapping, no one noticing, and no one caring. Until suddenly they do. Until one day the results speak so loudly that the world can no longer ignore you. But you don't wait for that day. You don't work for attention, you work for transformation. Because you understand that if you do the work in private, you will not need to chase the spotlight. The spotlight will find you. But you must stay faithful in the silence. You must keep showing up when motivation disappears. You must train yourself to love the days that feel heavy, the moments that feel unfair, the effort that feels invisible, because that is the edge. That is the difference between the average and the elite. The average wait to feel inspired. The elite create momentum from nothing. They move forward, even in the dark, because they know that every step they take, no matter how small, is shaping them into something the world has never seen. So let others complain about being overlooked. Let others talk about how hard it is. You, on the other hand, do the work in the quiet, in the shadows, in the pain, because when the time comes for your name to be called, you won't just be ready, you'll be unstoppable, built in silence, hardened by resilience, prepared by fire. And when the lights hit, the world will finally see what you've become. Your actions are your loudest voice. Let that truth sink into your bones. Let it shape the way you show up in the world. Because words are cheap. Everyone has them. Everyone talks. Everyone makes promises. Everyone says they're going to do this or become that. But talk doesn't move the world. Action does. Results do. And when your actions speak, no one can deny them. You don't need to tell people who you are. Show them. Don't talk about your potential. Live it. Let your performance do the persuading. Let your discipline do the explaining. Let your results shout what your mouth never needs to say. That's how you command respect in this world. Not through noise, but through proof. Not through bragging, but through execution. In a world obsessed with attention, silence backed by results is a rare and powerful thing. The one who moves quietly, with precision, with consistency, is the one who wins. While others are chasing clout, you're chasing mastery. While they're focused on looking successful, you're busy becoming successful. And that difference, though invisible at first, becomes undeniable in the end. People don't follow words. They follow movement. They follow action. You don't inspire others by preaching. You inspire them by doing, by becoming the example, by letting your life be the evidence. Let the quality of your work silence the noise. Let your effort speak louder than your voice ever could. Because when you produce results, no one questions your credibility. No one doubts your value. You won't need to sell yourself. Your results will do it for you. Think about it. When you meet someone who does what they say they're going to do, every time, don't you trust them more? Don't you listen when they speak? That's the power of alignment between action and intention. That's how influence is built. Not by shouting over others, but by building something so solid, so undeniable that it speaks on your behalf. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up when it's hard, about pushing when it hurts, about committing when it's inconvenient. Because that's when your actions mean the most, not when it's easy, but when it requires everything you've got. That's when people notice. That's when legacies are built. So speak less, execute more, let others guess what you're up to. Let them wonder how you do it. And while they talk, you build. While they stall, you advance. While they hope, you act. Your actions will leave a trail that no one can ignore. They will speak in boardrooms, in battles, in back rooms where decisions are made and futures are forged. When you live like this, when you let your hustle do the talking, your name becomes powerful. Your presence becomes respected. Not because you shouted, but because you showed up again and again, without noise, without announcements, just action, repeated until success had no choice but to follow. Courage is not loud. It does not demand attention. It does not wait for applause, praise, or recognition. True courage moves in silence. It acts when no one is watching, and it keeps going when no one is clapping. The brave don't need a stage to move. They move because their mission matters more than the noise around them. That is the kind of courage that builds empires. That is the kind of courage that changes lives. Anyone can act when the crowd is cheering. Anyone can show up when the lights are on and the reward is certain. But the real warriors, the true achievers, are those who move without a guarantee. They take steps when the path is unclear. They take risks when the outcome is unknown. They invest time, energy, and effort when no one is validating their decisions. That is the kind of courage required to win in life. You must understand this. There will be seasons in your journey where no one will believe in your vision, where you will feel invisible, where it will seem like no one cares. And in those moments, the weak give up. But you must not break. You must press forward without applause, because applause is not fuel, approval is not purpose. The real power comes from conviction, the unshakable belief in what you're building. If you need someone to constantly tell you to keep going, you're not ready yet, because there will be times when no one is there. No motivation, no recognition, just you and the dream. That's where courage must take over. That's where you must become your own fire. You must wake up and push forward, not because the world is watching, but because you refuse to quit. That's when breakthroughs are born. This is the courage that rewrites destiny, the courage to keep moving forward, to stay disciplined, to grind when it's hard, and to believe when there's no visible reason to believe. You're not chasing inspiration, you are the inspiration. You don't wait for motivation. You become relentless without it. That's what sets you apart. That's what makes you unstoppable. You must not crave applause. You must not require confirmation, because when you move without it, when you act without permission, you become free. You stop explaining, you stop looking around and start looking within. And that is the beginning of true power. That is where unstoppable momentum is born. So keep moving, keep building, keep showing up with everything you've got, even when no one is clapping, even when no one notices, even when it feels like you're walking alone, because you're not just building results, you're building character. And character is the foundation of lasting success. Do not wait to be seen. Do not wait to be celebrated. Move anyway, act anyway, grow anyway, because the moment you stop needing recognition is the moment your power becomes limitless. And when the world finally sees what you've built in silence, they will not ask how you did it, they'll ask how they missed it. Your energy is your most valuable currency, not your time, not your money, your energy. Because without energy, time is wasted and money is powerless. And in a world full of noise, distractions, and meaningless chatter, those who protect their energy win. Those who guard their focus, who choose their thoughts, who direct their emotional power toward creation, not chaos, they are the ones who rise. If your mind is a battlefield, your energy is the weapon. And you cannot afford to waste it on people who drain you, on conversations that serve no purpose, on distractions disguised as entertainment. Every time you argue with a fool, you lose. Every time you explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you, you drain your power. And every second spent reacting to nonsense is a second stolen from your destiny. You must become ruthless about what you give your energy to, because what you feed will grow, and what you starve will die. Feed your vision, feed your discipline, feed your purpose, and starve the distraction, starve the doubt, starve the drama. You cannot let the noise around you become the voice within you. You cannot allow temporary emotions to shake permanent goals. The goal is to build, not to react. The strongest people are not those who shout the loudest. They are the ones who remain calm in chaos, unbothered, unshaken. Not because they don't feel, but because they've mastered the art of conserving energy for what truly matters. They don't give attention to every critic. They don't chase validation. They don't respond to pettiness, because they know energy spent there is energy lost from their mission. You want to win? Then you must guard your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. You must learn to say no. No to invitations that don't align. No to arguments that go nowhere. No to habits that keep you average. Because every yes to nonsense is a no to greatness. And you cannot serve your higher self while entertaining your lower self. Focus is power, and energy is the fuel for that focus. So protect it, build it, strengthen it. Your environment must elevate you, not drain you. The people around you must push you forward, not pull you down. If they don't, you walk away, not out of anger, but out of clarity. You know what you're here to do, you know what it will take, and you're not available for anything less. Keep your energy high, your presence grounded, and your intentions pure. Move with purpose. Speak with intention. Act with precision. Because when your energy is aligned with your vision, nothing can stop you. You become magnetic. You become a force. You become someone who no longer needs to chase, because everything you need starts chasing you. Not because you talk louder, but because your energy did the talking. And that, in the end, is what separates the noisemakers from the world shakers. As you stand at the crossroads of your journey, remember this. Your success is not defined by how loud you speak, but by how deeply you act. It's not measured by how many promises you make, but by how many you keep. Your power lies not in what you say to others, but in what you say to yourself when no one is watching. You are the architect of your destiny. Every thought, every action, every ounce of energy you invest in your vision builds the future you are destined to create. You will face challenges. You will encounter adversity. You will be tested. But understand this, those obstacles are not roadblocks. They are the proving ground. They are the moments that will either break you or shape you into the force you were born to become. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Speak less. Act more. Guard your energy. And never, ever allow the noise of the world to drown out the clarity of your purpose. The world may not see you right now, but one day, when you rise, when you stand tall in the fruits of your labor, they will understand the power that you have built in silence. They will see the strength you forged through perseverance, the greatness that emerged from resilience, and the unstoppable force you became through action. Keep moving, keep pushing, and above all, keep believing, because the world doesn't need more talkers. It needs doers. And you, my friend, are here to do more than just dream. You are here to make those dreams a reality.